Dear friends, I am Abhilash, taking class for psychology. Uh, Today we will have a brief discussion about psychology. Uh, Moreover, psychology as an option subject in CSAT. Before going into a broad description or a broad narrative about psychology in CSAT, let's know what psychology and what's the relevance in option subject. The relevance of psychology in option subject is it's very easy to narrate and describe. When you know the things, you can describe it in your words. Moreover, the facts, the elements, the crucial notations are very well defined by scientific thinkers, can be explained in a very simple, very layman's language. So, narration of psychology and description on this, brief explanation of psychology in a competitive examination is very essential for securing higher marks. So that's why over the years, many candidates are choosing psychology as their option subject. In the past, it's a tough subject in option subject, precisely in preliminary examination. In CSAT, there is no option subject for preliminary, so it's very much easy to handle psychology with a combination of public administration, sociology, some other things. So, in first part of psychology, it deals with basic concepts, theories, definitions, explanations, and origin of psychology. In second paper, it's application of psychology. See, what's the difference is, when you study first paper, you have a broad understanding about the wider in-depth knowledge of psychology, and with that subject, you can answer second paper as in your own language, without excluding the basic fact and scientific theorems. If you are well versed about the scientific theorems and notations and descriptions of psychology, you can explain it in your words. Many of subjects we can't do like that. So this is a brief explanation of psychology as an option subject in CSAT. Now coming back, let's study what psychology. Simply speaking, psychology is a study of mind. Study of mind means mind, it's a, in a layman's language, it is a, what to say, it's a crucial point of thinking, learning, activating your senses. And mind in itself, the term, is used in many ways. So the study of mind, we can explain psychology as a study of mind in only in a brief perspective. In a wider perspective, there is no such definition. You know why? Because mind is a term, it's a collective term of cognition, other life activities, like what we think, what we do, what we eat, what we drink, always. So, the study of mind means study of life. Like many other sciences, psychology is the mother of not only one science, not only one arts, it's the mother of all evolutionary process. Evolutionary process means the evolutionary process of knowledge. Information. You know why? For example, the person who invented aeroplane was Wright brothers. But he doesn't know what's the principle behind the working of an aeroplane. I think the aeroplane was invented in the year 1903. Before that, before some 35 years back, prior to the invention of aeroplane, the principle of working of an aeroplane was invented by Bernoulli. But Bernoulli doesn't know with this theorem we can invent an aeroplane. Bernoulli's theorem was called Bernoulli's theorem. So the idea behind Bernoulli's theorem and the idea behind the working principle of aeroplane was unintentionally left by their creators. Here we can find the application of psychology, because every subject, whatever subject, art, science, sports, whatever field, the field itself originated from the mind of a person. In a broader sense, we can say man is a social animal, and man or human being was included in the phylum, included in the kingdom of Animalia and the phylum of mammals. So, excluding human being, all other animals cannot think, cannot laugh. This is the only peculiarity between other animals and man. Being an animal, man is also in the kingdom of Animalia, is in the phylum of Mammalia. But excluding or including all other animals, they couldn't speak, couldn't think, couldn't smile. The only living thing who can do it possible is only human being. So, what are developments, happenings from ancient period to still was the hard work and inventions and discoveries of man. So, the study of mind is only predominantly or exclusively for man. That's why psychology is very much important. All other subjects, we can find many other inventions, many other discoveries, many other illustrations. We can find the influence of man. No animal in the world invented such things. The only animal who invented all the developments, all the happenings was man himself. So, psychology is a study of human mind in a layman's perspective, is a study of man in a broader perspective, and much more, it's the study of life. Study of life, simply, we can speak it until it as biology. So, biology, there are so many discoveries and inventions there. Who invented it? It's man invented. Cell biology, then medical anatomy, physiology. Who invented it? It's man invented. No other person can invent or discover any information, any ideology, except man. The only social animal who can create all this is only man. So psychology is the study of mind in the lower perspective. So, to begin with, we will start with the origin of psychology. In the earlier times, there is no such word psychology or no such field of study psychology. Psyche was a Greek word that means mind, and logos means study. That itself created psychology. Earlier in the ancient times, in the glorious period of Roman Empire, there was a theory called vis vitalis theory. Vis vitalis theory was nothing, it's an absurd, because vis vitalis theory is not scientifically relevant. It described only living things arises only on the predominant influence of some supernatural powers. Otherwise, there is no such life. So Visvaital's theory was absurd. So the origin of psychology arises from Visvaita, arises from from this period. In ancient period, earlier I told you about Roman civilization or Roman period. There is a process of refining. Refining is nothing. It's an unscientific, illogical process of some folk people, some clans, some tribes, that there are some unnatural spirits, evil spirits are there. So when they had an influence on the human body, the human mind get upset. So if a man found to be upset, these tribes, they will just create a hole in the brain or the skull to eliminate these forces outside. This process was called refining. So refining, Visvaitalis theory, something like that. These are all the earlier illustrations of psychology. But all these theories and fun ideas were absurd. That's absolutely clear. From there, we can find the emergence of the subject psychology. But psychology as a subject was emerged or was evolved in the later part of 18th century. But the application of psychology in various fields was there from very, very early times. But no one treated or no one illustrated psychology as a subject till 18th century. But in later period, psychology was found to be the mother of all creations, all inventions, all discoveries. Because, for example, there was a saying by an eminent philosopher, Descartes on stage. Cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. So, if I am there, I will think. In a broader sense, I think I will do whatever I like. I'll study whatever I like. These likes and dislikes are purely from our mind. If you are not, if I'm not, if you are not liking a particular person, particular instance, particular subject, you will not study it, or you will not have an interest in it. It's your liking, basic affection causes your love or causes your hatred for a particular field in the field, or particular subject, or particular person, or anything. Years passed. Many subjects had arisen. Many theories were formed. Many inventions had occurred. Many events happened. Many literary works were compiled. Many ideologies of social justice, liberty, individual freedom all emerged. Many sports emerged. But no one thought this was the creation of mind. So mind itself created all this. Only mind created it. No one else. In ancient time, or even in the dark ages, Copernicus told Earth was round. The authorities burned him alive. In future, science proved Earth is round, precisely spherically oblong. It's on the foundations of These are the inventions of man. These are the inventions of mind. These are the creations of mind. These are thoughts of the mind. These are expressions of mind. So, aspirations, inspirations, likes, dislikes, thinking, singing, activities, life process are the logical culmination of mind. Precisely, it's a vicious culmination, vicious logical culmination. So, psychology, like other subjects, emerged through a series of clashes, series of events. Later, what we call schools. Schools means particular belief or particular information, particular idea of any subject, or propounding or promoting of any subject. It's called school. Schools of thought. So, in ancient period, Plato, Descartes, Aristotle paved the way for philosophical, scientific ideas. From there starts the subject psychology, but there is no name, no subject in termed as psychology. The term comes very much later. Schools of psychology. There are two types of persons. What we call in psychology, what we call the two types of person. One who is all right in all his mental behavior, and one who is not very much okay in all his behavior. This was clearly narrated by John Locke, by Thomas Hobbes in his book Leviathan. Thomas Hobbes was considered to be a primitive lawmaker of psychology. He once propounded a theory that's the theory of well-being. Like he told, there are four types of people. I am okay, you are okay. I am not okay, you are okay. I am okay, you are not okay. And I am not okay, you are not okay. From there starts the theoretical evolution of psychology. But this was a coincidence. Thomas Hobbes never jumped in the conclusion that these are the types of psychological people or psychological difference. Psychological different. These are the different differences of psychological. But Thomas Hobbes paved the way to think, to create, to invent, to discuss all the essential informations that will be or that will cause the well-being of a very good nature, very good. After Thomas Hobbes, there comes so many philosophers. Their ideas, they are not psychologists. They are not paved the way for psychology, but their ideas influence the creation of a psychology. So in psychology, there is two eras. Prior to Freudian era and Freud and Neo-Freudian era. Prior to Freud and the Freudian era means there is no such effective information or effective field of study in psychology. Some theories and some inventions are there, discoveries are there about the functioning of human mind and something like that. More precisely, it is biological. The function of brain, neurons, something like that. Before Freud, one thing, Freud is considered to be the father of modern psychology. Why it's modern psychology? Because prior to Freud, there was no such gathered information or no such field of study in any universities or any colleges or any something education institutions like that. There's a field of study, but it's not well defined. After the Freudian era, or from the period of Freud itself, there started a clear-cut distinction, differentiation of subject. Before going into Freudian and the contributions, we shall discuss about prior to Freudian, pre-Freudian era. Pre-Freudian era, the terms such as defining vis vitalis theory, other than the terms like special creativity theory, then theory of instantaneous evolution. Instantaneous evolution was there in the sociology, something like that. So when people think, what is the reason, or what are the criterions that made inventions possible? Many philosophers, scientists thought how these are inventions, these information, these scientific information as a structured information, what we call structured information, occur. Such thoughts paved the way for the discovery of a new subject, what we call psychology. But at that time also, there is no scope for thinking a subject psychology, because it was considered to be the part of a biological experimentation, or the part of biological experimentation, biological study, like that. So mental process, what else, what are the process, whatever process, it all amounts to psychology. Various thoughts such as humanism, existential perspective, then psychoanalysis, Gestalt theory, these are the contributions of various philosophers, various psychologists. They made they contributed much to the development of psychology, but they were never called as psychologists, because there is no subject, there is no consolidated, effective, logical subject of psychology. But after, when Wundt created the first psychological laboratory in Leipzig in early 1870s, from there a new thought arose, new thought had awakened: psychology. Why, when, what, how? So when Wundt started a psychological laboratory, many thought, what is this to be going on? Because there is no such instruments or no such experiments for analyzing human behavior, human activities. Also, any such matter which was there was some test for analyzing intelligences. Some sports like chess and something like that, which tested one's logic and rational. So, studying all that, Wundt in his laboratory made first factful analysis of psychology for analyzing one's internal, innate qualities, behavior, whether explicit or implicit. Through observations, there is no such instruments for calculating on some behavior. Nowadays, there are, in ancient times, no such behavior. Only way to analyze the human behavior is observation. From there started new perspective, new school of thought. The schools of thought based on neural analysis, thinking patterns, cognitive behaviors, activities, whether it is intentionally or unintentionally. Two types of activities may happen in our life. One, we one is intentional, that we call purposeful, or unintentional, what we call serendipity. Unintentionally, what we call it's called serendipity. Some mathematical calculations influence the way of thought. In psychology, we use the mathematical calculations such as chi-square, pi diagram, mean, median, mode for calculating intelligence process. Vacha Pariksha, Pachishi. Pachishi is an old game that is invented by Indians in earlier times. Pachishi was later recommended by medieval scientists for boosting some sensory process, for boosting intelligences. Pachishi, it's a what we call it's a tricky game. So these are influenced. So these categorically created a school of thought or information psychology. From information gathering to information enrichment. Any field of study prior occurred as an information or just a narration. May be influenced by scientific logical thoughts, may not. Many thoughts in sciences are first time and absurd, and many thoughts in science are later to be found to be illogical. So all this combination, whether logical or illogical, boosted to the creation of a new subject psychology. If one thinks to create a new object or a new theory, it is his or his team's hard work, logical presentations that make them create a new idea or new school of thought. It's purely his psyche. It's not psychology, it's psyche. Without logical thinking or rational, how can one find anything? So the urge of human mind or or mankind to gather information, to study the universe, created all subjects. So when you study psychology, you have to analyze the relationship between psychology and various other subjects. No other subject has directly or indirectly linked with what are the informations, what are the whatever inventions, whatever discoveries, whatever ideas. If you are studying medical science, there is no such relationship with medical science and sociology. No explicit direct linking. Some small ideas are influencing. When you are studying physics, there is no such relationship between physics and political science. But when you are studying psychology, you can find the relationship between psychology and physics, psychology and political science. It's an irony. How it happened to us. In physics, there are so many theories. Physics is the study of time and space. Just take an example of Max Planck's quantum theory. It's Max Planck who worked so many years, several years, to create such a theory called quantum theory. It's his vision. So, if Max Planck thought, I don't have time to spare for this subject, then how come the invention of quantum what we call quantum theory occurred? If Einstein thought I have no time to spare, then how much it's possible the creation and the invention of or the discovery of the relativity theory. Likewise, if philosophers and social reformers had no time or they neglected the happenings around the world, then how come a democratic process occur? For example, so many governments, so many democratic institutions are running there based on legal, purely legal theories. So purely lawful. So the creators of such law, if they had no time, if they had no idea, or they are neglecting this cause, then how come this process occurred? All this amounts to the formation and invention of a new subject, psychology. From there, it traveled a lot to achieve a new era, a new thought, a new subject, as we see today. Now, we can clearly know what is health. So, WHO itself tells health is the complete welfare, well-being of social, physical, mental, devotional activities. Complete social well-being. So, complete social well-being, it just after from 1950s onwards, they are changing their words. First of all, they thought complete physical, then mental. Likewise, over the years, the definition of psychology, the definition of health had changed. So, such ideas which had produced, you just think about it. Who created or who invented or whose thought was there? Whose thinking pattern was there? It is the logical thinking, rational thinking, insight, logical insight of some persons that created the new world. So, the creation of such information or the discovery of such information or the logical and forward looking such information, it is from the mind itself. They studied nature, they studied people, they studied objects, they studied anything, everything. After studying and observation, they got into a conclusion, and the conclusion was purely logical with evidences to prove. Such informations created the word science itself. The definition of science itself is on which can prove cause and effect. That's science. So all these ideas that are coming from the mind of a person or a group of persons, that amounts to psychology in science. It's part of it's all in the case of science. Now take some social science activities, some religious thoughts, or something like political activities, something. The creators of such ideas, they are also using their mind. So, mind is in the lower term, the study of mind, what we call psychology, and in deep, the world which we live in today, what the activities we are seeing today, what the scientific inventions, discoveries we are seeing today, what the enjoyments and attainments we are happening today, what the events are happening today, all are the creations of science, and these science is a part of the these are the contributions of some person or a group of persons, and these are the thoughts of them. This categorically explain the importance of psychology, and this is what's called. So that's why the explanation of psychology in simple terms is the study of mind. That's all.